folks, let's take a look at how to connect the VPN to the Hostd8 network using Windows 7. Windows XP 2000 be pretty similar. I figure most folks by now have had to, by no choice of their own, move forward. Here in Windows 7 and Vista will be very similar, so will Server 2008. We're going to click on the Network and Sharing Center in the control panel. So if you could do that. Looks like mine didn't want to do that for us, huh? There we go. And now we're going to click Set up a new connection to a network. We're going to connect to a workplace. We're going to create another connection, not use an existing one, just in case you want to keep what you've already got. We're going to give it an IP address. Our public IP to the access server is 216.66.76.181. Destination name, this is the Hostd8 DCI remote access server. This is up to you here. You can allow other folks to use this VPN connection or not. That's a security issue that you can deal with and decide on there. Username is pretty simple, DCI user1. Password, hosted with a capital H, 8 DCI. So it's Hostd8 DCI. You can tell it to show you the characters just in case you want to double check and make sure you've got it put in correctly. We're going to tell it to remember our password and also put in the domain, which is Hostd8. Okay, now that we're connected, we'll continue on. We should have good name resolution here. The thing that might stop you from getting either NetBIOS or DNS resolution on the private side is perhaps a setting in your firewall, protocol setting, etc., etc. VPN pass-through might need to be set, that kind of thing. So you want to make sure you take care of that. You can get by without the DNS resolution, but I'll show you a trick on how to deal with that here in a second as well. Kind of trick everything and make it work a little more easy for you. Okay, if you'll notice, I'm just going to enter in the address bar RAS1, which I remind you is the server that the file shares on. So if we do that, we're going to notice we get a couple of shares. One we're interested in is DCI-SH. So we're going to get into the DCI-SH share. I have a folder created, which by the way you can't write directly to the DCI-SH share. You have to create yourself a folder inside. You may use the customer test environment folder that I built. You're more than welcome to that, or you can create your own. There's no issue with that either. So here we're going to just double check and make sure, hey, do we have permission to do things? And yeah, we sure do. So we're good to go there. Okay, now let's talk about, I'm sure since you're dumping off a backup to us, you want to make sure that you can map a drive. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that now. So if you click on the Start button, and you go to Computer, select Map Network Drive. It doesn't matter what drive. We're going to go / RAS1 / DCISH / customer test env. And we're going to ask it to reconnect us at logon and go ahead and map that guy. It mapped straight away, not a problem at all. I mean, we're good to go there. I'll tell you what, let's just copy a file just to make sure we're golden. We got about a 30 meg file, so we're going to copy this guy and we're going to paste it into our newly created map drive just to make sure that we're writing and everything's kind of driving for us. Now you have to bear with me, my internet connection at home is not near as quick as elsewhere, so it maxes it out at 170k a second, which is basically a T1, which is all I have up here. AT&T Uverse, great down, and not so great up. We have to the particular setup that you guys will be using, we have 100 megabits up and down. It's a Hurricane Electric link and works very, very well. So you'll definitely not see any issues with speed, as most likely we will be waiting on about anybody that wants to deliver to us. Okay, you have 500 megabytes or gigabytes in this share to utilize currently. That is an on-the-fly changeable parameter, which we'll be upping to a terabyte in the next 2 days, and beyond that very soon. This setup currently resides on a 7 terabyte RAID array, so there'll be plenty of space, and hopefully more than adequate space to get you started. It looks like our upload's going to go just fine, so everything's good. Now, we talked a little bit earlier about the name resolution issue that you might have perhaps. You should be able to do the //RAS1. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is you're in a hurry, you got to get something going. The IP address of the RAS1 server is 10.2.1.199. And we can navigate the same way to that. We simply replace RAS1 with the IP. So / 10.2.1.199 /DCI. You can map a drive the same exact way. You won't have any issues with that. If you prefer the name thing just for cleanliness sake, and just because it actually does work better in Windows especially, you'll notice that there are the folders. There's a customer test env folder, and you can see the file we're copying in right now. The name situation can be taken care of. Here's a neat little trick you may or may not know. Go to the start menu, or fancy little window menu, whatever they call it these days. Navigate to the C drive. Oh, actually, strike that. Windows XP users, you can jump straight to that. Windows Vista, Windows 7, 2008 server users, which is probably most of you out there. Go to the Start, Programs and Accessories, right-click on Notepad, and hit Run as an Administrator. We need administrative privileges so that we can access files inside the Windows System folder. Okay, so we have Notepad here now. We're going to go to File and Open and do the same navigation. Windows XP users, you can go ahead and do this navigation if you like, without opening Notepad first, and then just simply right-click on the file we're about to open and open with Notepad. So that'll take care of it for you. What we're going to do then is go to Computer, C drive, Windows, System 32. This is extremely useful, by the way, not just in this aspect, but many. I'll explain a couple scenarios here in just a second once we get this taken care of. After you're in the System 32 folder, you're looking for a folder called Drivers. So here it is. ETC would be the next folder. We're in the correct folder, but we need to turn off the text document filter so that we can see all the files. You'll see right here we have several files. The one we're interested in currently is called Hosts. So we're going to open that. And you can see that I've already got this set up here, RAS1, pointing to 10.2.1.199. What happens here is that most operating systems do have a static flat text file sitting there that it looks at before it asks the DNS server for a name to address translation. So what we can do here is we can kind of fool things by adding 10.2.1.199 in here, which is the address for the RAS1 server. Tab over, enter the name RAS1. Then we would save this file. And now Windows will look at this file before it looks at DNS servers in order to translate the RAS1 name. So I can open a command prompt now and happily ping RAS1. And you see that it comes up with the correct address that we have in there. This is extremely handy, especially if you're a web developer, software developer, any of those kind of things where you're working with a private environment, at home, at the office, wherever you might be, and you want to fool something. Say, for example, you're a web developer and foobar.com is a website you're developing, not been registered yet, not pointed at your servers, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. You work with a virtual server environment, so those headers need to be there so that the web server, whether it be IIS, Apache, or any number of servers out there, need to see that domain name in the header. So you can't just go by the IP address. So what we would do then, for example, say it was the web service 192.168.2.1, and we are looking at foobar.com. Now you'll see actually I just created a name to address translation for a non-existent figment of my imagination website. So actually it works currently if I ping foobar hostd8.com. I come up with the exact address that I have. Of course, we're not going to be able to ping foobar because I don't have that that network here at the house, 192.168.2.1. Okay, that's enough about that, and that was off topic, but I just wanted to kind of show you that you can use what you learned here in several spots. So we're going to make sure this is saved and get out of here. You will now be able to navigate without using the IP. You can use RAS1 now. Okay, hopefully that settled things for you as far as how to connect with VPN. If you have any trouble, just let me know. My name's Eric. I'm with Hostd8. My email address is eric@hostd8.com. That's Eric with a K, E-R-I-K, at hostd8.com.